Hey everybody, this is Rob, and today I'm going to be making a quick little unboxing video on an Xbox One S. This one is a limited edition Gears of War 4 model with a 2TB hard drive. Now normally I'm not a big fan of these one-off consoles that are based on sequels to games because I don't want Modern Warfare 3 on the side of my console or Halo 2 or whatever. I don't need Uncharted 4 on the side of my console. Now, if they made the console based on a series like the Metal Gear series or the Mega Man series or something like that, you know, the Mario series, then I'm sort of cool with that. And that was one of the reasons I was okay with this one, because even though it's for the Gears of War 4 game, the logo doesn't have anything to do with Gears of War 4. It's just a generic Gears of War skull and cog logo, and the same thing on the controller. Now, I know it's got this kind of crazy clawing mark with some blood, I guess, splattered on there. You know, I think it looks pretty cool. It's probably not my first choice. I kind of like muted console, nothing really fancy, just like a plain color. I remember I bought the Resident Evil Xbox 360 limited edition console because that one was just red. And in fact, it had nothing to do with Resident Evil at all, other than the console was red and the controller was red. So now, you know, that was okay with me. So anyway, the real reason I picked this up is because the PlayStation 4 Pro, and Microsoft should be kind of happy that Sony did this, but the PlayStation 4 Pro got me to finally delve into the world of 4K televisions. And originally I was kind of just biding my time, just waiting, because there was no real reason to go into 4K. The Xbox One S actually came out in summer of 2016, and when it came out and I found out really that all it did was 4K Blu-rays, and at the time I didn't even know this, that it does HDR for the video games and does upscaling, and I'm like, whatever, what do I care? It doesn't do any 4K gaming, it doesn't make the games any faster, it doesn't improve any frame rates, why do I need this thing? So, you know, without a 4K television, there was absolutely no need for me to buy it, so I didn't even look into it. I just ignored it. When the PlayStation 4 Pro came out, I already had a PlayStation VR, and there was, you know, talk about how the PlayStation 4 Pro was going to improve your PlayStation VR experience, and how it could actually take your 1080p titles or your non-full HD titles, your non-4K titles, and either upscale them to 4K, which I'm like, whatever. But more importantly, if you're still playing at 1080p, that it would improve the frame rate or give you better quality visuals, but still stay at 1080p. So there were some benefits that you could get out of the PlayStation 4 Pro without having a 4K television. And so I was like, okay, I'm in. I'll get a PlayStation 4 Pro. Well, of course, when I picked that up, now I'm itching to get a 4K television, and I made a video on that actually pretty recently on what television to buy for the PlayStation 4 Pro. And that actually holds true for 4K gaming in general, so it actually holds true for the Xbox One S, and going forward for the Scorpio, which is the real new Xbox that's going to be coming sometime in 2017. At least that's the plan right now. So this Xbox One is the S model. It doesn't say Xbox One S, and in fact, I kind of I did a double take, because again, I didn't really look into the Xbox One S's when they were released. So I thought it would say Xbox One S, just much like the PlayStation 4 Pro says PlayStation 4 Pro right on the box at least. But nope, this one just says Xbox One, because really what Microsoft did is they didn't add another model, they replaced one. So the Xbox One original is pretty much phased out, and if you find any in stores, that's just because they haven't sold through yet. But the Xbox One S is really the new Xbox One, and you won't find the other one around for very much longer, especially after the holidays. A lot of them were heavily discounted. This one was actually pretty heavily discounted, which is why I picked it up. The main thing that made me want to pick this up, other than now I have a 4K television, is that it has a 2TB hard drive. If I had found the 2TB hard drive in a white or a black, I would have probably bought that, because it would have saved me a little bit of money on the Gears of War pack-in. Even though it's packed in, you still do pay for it. There is a price increase for having a pack-in game. But you know, I am a fan of Gears of War. I finished 1 and 2. I have 3. I never finished it, but I intended to. I just never got around to it because I was planning to play it co-op, and it just never came to be. So I am a Gears of War fan. So I was like, okay, well, I want Gears of War 4 anyway, even though the Gears of War 4 has been crazy discounts on that game. You can buy it for $30 now, even after the holidays have passed. But anyway, getting off the subject, you know, I saw it at Target. They had a really good deal on it. I got quite a bit of a discount, and so I picked it up. and I haven't opened it up yet because the holidays were just crazy. I had so much stuff going on, and I really wanted to take some time to set everything up perfectly so that I can just swap this one out for the current Xbox One that I have, which is the original model, the launch day edition of Xbox One. So what are the differences? Before I open this up, I know I get pretty long-winded. This was supposed to be a quick video, and it probably still will be by if you compare it to my other videos. But quickly, the difference is it's going to be much smaller. It's about 40% smaller than the original Xbox One. And it also has some distinct changes, like it removed the dedicated Connect port from the back, which I'm kind of surprised that they did, because I mean, I know they were kind of moving away from the Connect, but to completely remove the port is kind of weird. And in fact, when I looked online on how to go from an Xbox One to an Xbox One S, in other words, how to transfer my data and how to transfer my licenses, I found on the Microsoft site there's an adapter that you can get that takes a Connect plug and makes it into a USB plug that you can put into the back of this, so your Connect will still work. You just need the adapter, and for a limited time, I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's limited for a year or what, but for a limited time, if you provide proof that you own an original Xbox One, that you own an Xbox One S, and that you own the original, or not the original, the Connect that came with the Xbox One, they will actually send you a free adapter. So I plan to do that as soon as I get this open, because I need the serial number for this thing. So anyway, what other differences are there? It's got a physical button instead of that touch sensitive button for the power, which I kind of like. The touch sensitive stuff is kind of cool. The original PS4 was like that, and then the later models of the PlayStation 4 and the Pro have physical buttons, clicky buttons for the power. There's something to be said about having that tactile response when you hit the button to make sure that it actually was depressed. But what else is okay? So it has an internal power brick, or the I should say the electrical, the AC circuitry is now inside the Xbox One, as opposed to being a big old power brick on the outside. And as you can see here, it's now capable of being put on its side, so it can be put into vertical alignment instead of horizontal, if you want to save a little bit of space on your bookshelf or your entertainment center or wherever you've got it. That's another thing, is this bright red does not go with my entertainment center. Everything in my entertainment center is black. And this thing is, I mean, it's kind of a dull red. It's not like a bright cherry candy apple red or anything like that. But I don't know. We'll see how it looks. And it's got this kind of weird splatter on it. It looks really cool. I don't know if it'll look really cool in my entertainment center. What else is different? Okay, the controller's redesigned. They've actually added Bluetooth capability to it, so it will tie into your Windows 10 Bluetooth laptops or machines. And I think it just works with anything that a normal Bluetooth controller would work with. I haven't tested it out, of course. I haven't opened it up. But there's also some design changes to the grip. I think it's a little bit more grippy than it used to be, maybe rubberized or something like that. And it's supposed to be just an overall better controller, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't have an Elite controller. That's one of those things I just could never justify. The Elite controller's $150. I've seen it as cheap as $120 or something like that, and I can't bring myself to buy it on a $120 just regular controller. It's not even the joystick or anything like that. But okay, enough about that. I think this is most of the changes. Let's get this sucker open. And I've got my trusty X-Acto knife. I'm a big stickler for keeping the box kind of in good shape because I collect. So wow, okay. Let's see if I can get this in the camera here. Let me turn this around. So blood red, huh? Okay, cool. Xbox One. Does this have anything in it? Oh, has these kind of non-lingual, not even multilingual, just a picture of how to set stuff up. So I don't know if it comes with the stand. I don't think that it does, but they want you to use the stand if you're going to be putting it vertically. What is this? Okay, so it's got an Ethernet port, whatever, just generic stuff. How to put batteries in a controller, I think you can figure that out. How to sync your controller. The sync button and USB port, which used to be on the side, are now on the front, so that's good too. Alright, so not much there. Cool. Okay, what is this? There's no more power brick, so it can't be that. I gotta set it a little bit more. Okay, well, it's not the power brick, but it is the power cable. that. That's the controller. And an HDMI cable. I like when they include the HDMI cable. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's so inexpensive, and I like. Does this have an Xbox logo on it? I like when they have the PlayStation one had a PlayStation logo on it. No, this one does not. This is HDMI. Another thing to note is if you have a 4K television and you've upgraded your consoles, your Xbox One to an Xbox One S or your PlayStation 4 to a PlayStation 4 Pro, it's cool that they come with HDMI cables because the HDMI cable actually does make a difference. If you have a really old HDMI cable, it might not be up to spec for 4K. And I know this thing does not do 4K games. It does do 4K upscaling, and it does do 4K movies, both streaming, and it's the only console between it and the PlayStation 4 that does 4K Blu-rays. So if you want physical media for your 4K movies, this is the only way to go, which is really funny because the Sony owns the Blu-ray, or they were the big proponent for Blu-ray technology. They were the inventors of it, I believe. And as I suspected, it's a download code. Let's take a look at that. We put the actual console to the side and the controller to the side. I want to take a look at this, see what's in here first. So, I hate that we don't get physical media anymore. You know, it's a download code. Let me make sure that it's not actually, yeah, the codes are actually printed on here, so I won't be flipping it over. But it's just a code. So look, that's kind of cool. It's for the Xbox One and Windows 10, which I don't have. I've been avoiding going to Windows 10. So the codes work on both. And let me see what else. So I get the Ultimate Edition game download. I don't know what that means. Hopefully that has a bunch of cool stuff. I don't know if it has a season pass or anything. And then the LE console pack. Bonus gear packs. I don't know what that is, but anyway, it comes with that. And a 14-day, well, that code is already exposed, but you know what? First person to use that code, my gift to you can have it. I have Xbox Live for like a year or so into the future. So if you're looking at this, do me a favor. If you're looking at this code, put in the comments that you used the code. I'm curious to see who used it. You can have it, first come, first serve. I don't know if that's visible. If it's not, well, you're out of luck. Let's see, a warranty guide. Yeah, no big deal there. Oh, it does come with the stand. Neat. It's surprising because it's brown. It's not red. So anyway, that's kind of cool. I like that it comes with a stand. So let's put those away. And let's take a look at the controller next. Oh, batteries. Comes with batteries. Okay, it's kind of a dull matte finish. Get it centered here, more or less there. Got a dull. I do feel kind of the rubberized grips on the bottom. Got the kind of rubbery feel. That's cool. Yeah, this feels really nice. I've noticed that my original day one edition Xbox One controller is kind of sticky. And I think it's honestly, I think it's because of my kids. They're pretty messy, and they probably spilled something on it or sprayed something on it, and kind of the little whatever this button is, the menu button, I don't know what this is. It's kind of sticky in my other one. Plus the D-pad really sucks on my Xbox One day one edition controller. The backup controller I bought to accompany it is still kind of okay, but the D-pad when I'm in the menus and the Xbox One menu, it's really not responsive. It'll like not do anything and then go down like 3 really quick. So, but yeah, no, that's good. Looks really cool. I was always kind of disappointed that the Xbox One didn't have the Xbox 360 style of 1, 2, 3, 4 to let you know what controller port you were in or what controller you were currently using. Yeah, it feels pretty good. I like it. And here we go with the console. Well, I tell you what, it may be small, but it feels heavy. And I know it's supposed to be not as heavy as the original, but it's got some heft to it for sure. And I probably have this upside down based on how the tape is. That's okay. Come on. Okay. Yep, and I do have it upside down, of course. That's kind of cool. You'll never really see. Well, that's not true because it goes on the side now too. So it says Xbox One. I don't know, model something. So I'm going to cover up the serial just in case. But here is the back of the Xbox One S. Okay, get it centered here. All right. So as you'll notice here, it's missing the Connect port. This still has the optical out, which I'm glad because. Little note here, when you play Rock Band 4, it has a hell of a lag if you don't do optical out and stereo out from your Xbox One to your AV amp. Because the way I had it before, it was doing the audio return channel through HDMI, and it was horrendous. The mic lag, when you would try to sing, the mic was way behind. So I had to pull out an old Toslink optical cable and use that. So I was worried that maybe they had removed that in a cost-cutting measure, but nope, still there. So it's still got the HDMI in and out, which I never use because I don't use this for the television. Oh, this thing also has an IR blaster, by the way, which used to be part of the Kinect. Since Kinect is not really a thing anymore, they put the IR blaster on the front of this. So it's got, yeah, still got some outs there. What is this? Oh, that's the IR out. So you can add, still trying to cover up that serial number just because you never know. There's some weird people out there. So there's a IR out, so you can add another IR blaster. You can actually put, there's little extensions that you put in here in case you want to aim things, aim your IR to other parts of your entertainment center. There's the top. It's still got this kind of two-tone thing going on, which is pretty cool, but I like this a lot better. They're muted. You don't have like a really shiny side and a dull side. It looks really cool. I really liked. I dig this. And this is wow. These scratches are molded into it. It's not a sticker. It's not just painted on there. These scratches are actually molded right in there. It actually looks really cool. I like it. From the side, nothing really to speak of. It's just holes there and holes there for ventilation. I'll show you the front here. So the front, you know, it's got a physical button instead of touch-sensitive button. Here's the IR blaster, so it can turn on your other equipment in your entertainment center. I actually have a Logitech Harmony remote, like one of those $300 ones, really fancy. I didn't buy it for $300. I got a really good deal on it, really cheap. But I don't need one of these because I have a universal remote. And this is, I guess this is the eject button. What this is: do not move console without first removing any disk inside. Makes sense. And here's the USB ports. It used to be on the side. So yeah, that's looks pretty cool. There it is again. There's the Xbox One S. Cool. All right. Well, if you have any questions, as always, just leave them in the comments below or send me a tweet at Rob Nava, or you can always look me up on Facebook. I'm at the same name. And if you like the video, please subscribe and let me know. Maybe give it a like. If you don't, let me know too. At least somebody's watching, right? I get tens and tens of views sometimes. So yeah, let me know. And yeah, look forward to the next video. It's probably going to be, honestly, I need to get a video where I show the differences between HDR and 4K and not 4K gaming on the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One S. So I think that will be, if not the next video, very soon. All right, thanks for watching.